Have you ever wondered why, despite eating well and exercising, your muscles sometimes feel weaker, tighter, or slower to recover as you age? Most people immediately think of protein or they rush to the latest omega-3 supplement. But here's the surprising truth. Your body's ability to rebuild muscle overnight isn't just about protein or fish oils. It depends on two overlooked vitamins that work quietly while you sleep. And the science is striking. Studies from the National Institutes on Aging show that muscle loss, what we call sarcopenia, begins as early as you're 40 and accelerates every decade thereafter. By the time you reach your 70, you may have lost up to 25–30% of your muscle mass. And that isn't just about strength. Muscle is deeply tied to metabolism, to balance and stability, even to your brain health. In fact, research out of Harvard has linked stronger muscles with lower rates of depression, sharper memory, and longer life expectancy. So when we talk about rebuilding muscle, we're not just talking about biceps, we're talking about your independence, your mood, and even your future. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. While omega-3 supplements have their place, the real repair work at night is driven by specific micronutrients that activate protein synthesis, regulate hormones, and calm inflammation while you sleep. Think of your body like a construction site. Protein is the raw material, yes, but without the right foreman, the vitamins that signal your cells to repair and grow, that material just sits there unused. Tonight, I want to walk you through 2 vitamins you can take at night, backed by neuroscience and physiology, that can literally switch your muscles from breakdown into repair mode while you rest. Along the way, we'll explore 6 powerful insights about how your body regenerates, why sleep timing matters, and how simple nightly habits can transform your energy and strength. By the end of this talk, you'll have a clear, science-backed nightly protocol to rebuild your muscles, protect your brain, and wake up stronger than the night before. So let's dive in. When most people hear vitamin D, they immediately think of sunlight and strong bones. But what's less known and profoundly important is how vitamin D acts as a molecular switch for muscle repair, particularly during the nighttime hours when your body does its deepest rebuilding. Here's what the research shows. Vitamin D works like a hormone in the body. In fact, it's technically not just a vitamin, it's a prohormone. Once activated in the liver and kidneys, it binds to receptors in almost every cell, including your muscle fibers. These vitamin D receptors turn on specific genes responsible for protein synthesis, the very process by which your body takes amino acids from food and stitches them into new muscle tissue. One study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that people with low vitamin D had weaker grip strength, slower walking speed, and reduced muscle mass compared to those with sufficient levels. Another from the University of Birmingham showed that vitamin D supplementation could actually prime muscle stem cells, the little repair workers inside your muscles, to activate more quickly after damage or exercise. That means vitamin D isn't just preventing weakness, it's actively fueling your capacity to regenerate. Now, why take it at night? Here's where neuroscience intersects with physiology. During deep stages of sleep, particularly slow-wave sleep, your body pulses out growth hormone. This hormone is like the architect of muscle repair. It directs nutrients toward rebuilding damaged fibers, thickening existing ones, and improving mitochondrial efficiency. Vitamin D helps set the stage for this process by regulating calcium flow inside cells. Calcium isn't just for bones, it's a messenger. Without stable calcium signaling, muscles can't contract properly, and more importantly, they can't rebuild efficiently. Think of it like this. Vitamin D is the light switch in a dark room. Protein and amino acids might be sitting in that room, waiting to be used. But unless the switch is flipped on, the workers don't know where to go or what to build at night. When your brain is signaling repair mode, vitamin D makes sure your muscle cells are fully responsive. Here's something else fascinating. Deficiency in vitamin D has been linked with higher inflammation levels. Inflammation, of course, is the enemy of recovery. It keeps muscles in a catabolic breakdown state. By restoring vitamin D levels, research shows you can reduce chronic low-grade inflammation, which in turn creates a more anabolic, repair-friendly environment for your tissues while you sleep. So what does this mean for you practically? If you've been relying solely on omega-3 supplements, you might be missing a key trigger for overnight muscle repair. Ensuring you have optimal vitamin D before bed may help align your sleep-driven growth hormone pulses with your muscles' capacity to respond. Now, let me ask you, have you ever noticed how after a week of cloudy weather or spending too much time indoors, your energy dips, your recovery feels slower, or even your mood starts to sag? That's not just in your head. That's your muscle cells, your brain, and your mitochondria quietly signaling they're starved of vitamin D's regulating power. A simple tool to apply here is to get your vitamin D levels checked, especially if you live in northern climates, spend most of your time indoors or over the age of 50. Optimal levels are often higher than what's traditionally considered just enough. Many researchers now suggest maintaining levels between 40-60 ng/ml for not only bone but also muscle and cognitive health. And when you supplement, pairing it with the evening meal, ideally with a little healthy fat, allows your body to absorb it efficiently and put it to work during the night. When you combine this with the right partner nutrient, which we'll explore next, you essentially flip your muscles into repair mode while you rest. That partner is magnesium, and without it, vitamin D can't do its job. If vitamin D is a switch that turns on your muscle repair genes, magnesium is the electricity that powers the whole system. Without it, the lights simply don't come on. Magnesium is often called the master mineral because it participates in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, but when it comes to muscle rebuilding overnight, two of its roles stand out. First, magnesium is required for the production of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the energy currency every single cell uses. Imagine trying to run a construction site with no fuel for your machines. Even if the workers are there, nothing gets built. That's what happens to your muscles when magnesium is low. Repair grinds to a halt. Second, magnesium regulates your nervous system's balance between stress and relaxation. During the day, you run largely on your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight side. At night, you need to switch into parasympathetic mode, rest and digest so your body can heal. Magnesium acts like a brake pedal for the nervous system. It binds to GABA receptors in the brain, promoting calmness, deeper sleep, and a smoother transition into the slow wave sleep stages where growth hormone peaks. Here's what the research shows. A 2012 study published in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences found that magnesium supplementation improves sleep efficiency, sleep time, and early morning alertness in older adults with insomnia. Why is that so important? Because poor sleep doesn't just leave you tired, it directly blocks muscle repair. If you don't get quality deep sleep, your growth hormone release plummets, and so does your overnight recovery. Magnesium essentially keeps the door open for that critical rebuilding window. Let's make this more relatable. Have you ever had a night where you toss and turn only to wake up sore, achy, and mentally foggy? Compare that to a night of deep, uninterrupted sleep when you wake up feeling refreshed with less stiffness in your joints. That difference is partly magnesium at work, regulating your nervous system, relaxing your muscles, and fueling repair. But here's the twist. Your muscles and nerves compete for magnesium. During times of stress, your body burns through magnesium faster. Add to that our modern diets, which are often low in magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, nuts, and seeds, and you can see why deficiency is so common. Studies estimate that nearly 50% of adults don't get enough magnesium daily. And without it, vitamin D can't be activated properly, meaning even if you supplement vitamin D, your muscles won't fully benefit. A simple tool to apply here is to take magnesium with your evening meal or about 30-60 minutes before bed. Not only does it promote better absorption, but it also synchronizes perfectly with your body's natural relaxation process. Many people find that magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate are the most effective forms for sleep and muscle repair, while avoiding the digestive upset that some other forms can cause. Now imagine combining this with vitamin D. You've got one nutrient flipping the switch for muscle gene activation, and the other fueling both the energy and relaxation needed for repair. That's why these two vitamins taken together at night can be far more effective than another omega-3 capsule alone. If this insight is helping you, consider subscribing to the channel. We break down complex neuroscience and physiology into practical tools you can actually use to strengthen not just your body, but your mind and daily life. So here's the key takeaway for tonight. Magnesium isn't optional. It's the mineral that makes your overnight recovery possible. And when you get it right, you'll notice the difference, not just in your muscles, but in your sleep, mood, and morning energy. But there's another layer to this story. Timing. Your body runs on a circadian rhythm, a 24-hour internal clock that tells your cells when to repair, when to build, and when to conserve. And if you align your nutrition with that rhythm, the benefits multiply. That's where we're headed next. Your body isn't just a machine that runs the same way every hour of the day. It runs on rhythm, the circadian rhythm, an internal 24-hour clock that synchronizes your brain, hormones, and cells with the rising and setting of the sun. And when it comes to muscle rebuilding, that clock is everything. Here's what the research shows. During the day, your body prioritizes activity, energy output, and alertness. At night, it shifts gears into repair, detoxification, and cellular renewal. This shift is not random. It's driven by the suprachiasmatic nucleus in your brain, a cluster of neurons that respond to light and dark signals. When the sun goes down, melatonin levels rise, growth hormone pulses increase, and your body effectively says, now is the time to rebuild. The fascinating part is how tightly muscle recovery is tied to this clock. A 2019 study from Cell Reports showed that muscle tissue has its own circadian rhythm. Muscle cells actually turn on and off specific repair genes depending on the time of day. That means the timing of when you provide nutrients like vitamin D and magnesium can either amplify or blunt their effect. Think of it like this. If you've ever walked into a gym at midnight versus mid-afternoon, you know the energy feels different. Your body is wired to be active during certain hours and restorative during others. When you give it the right support and alignment with its natural rhythm, you're not fighting biology, you're flowing with it. This is why taking these nutrients at night is so effective. Vitamin D primes your muscle cells to respond to repair signals. Magnesium calms your nervous system and fuels ATP, and your circadian-driven hormones do the rest. Together, they create a window of opportunity where muscle breakdown shifts into muscle renewal. But here's where most people make a mistake. They sabotage their circadian rhythm without realizing it. Artificial blue light from phones, late-night caffeine, or irregular sleep schedules confuse your brain into thinking it's still daytime. When that happens, melatonin release is suppressed, growth hormone pulses are blunted, and the very repair cycle your muscles depend on gets interrupted. Have you ever noticed that after staying up late scrolling on your phone, you wake up groggy, achy, and less motivated to move? That's not just fatigue, it's your body missing its overnight recovery window. A simple tool to apply is this: set a digital sunset. About 1 hour before bed, dim your lights, put your phone down, and let your brain transition into nighttime mode. Pair your vitamin D and magnesium with your last meal or a calming bedtime routine. By doing this, you're sending a powerful message to your circadian system. It's time to repair. Here's another layer. Your circadian rhythm doesn't just affect muscles. It also influences your metabolism and mood. When you align with it, insulin sensitivity improves. Fat metabolism runs more smoothly, and cortisol, the stress hormone, stabilizes. All of that creates an environment where muscle repair is easier and more efficient. This is why people who work night shifts or who constantly disrupt their sleep often struggle with muscle loss, weight gain, and even depression. Their circadian rhythm is out of sync, so their body can't properly separate the active and repair phases. So what's happening in your brain and body at night is not optional background noise. It's a carefully timed symphony of signals designed to keep you strong and resilient. And when you provide the right nutrients in harmony with that rhythm, you magnify the results. Now, we've covered vitamin D, magnesium, and the circadian clock. But the real magic happens when these nutrients work together. In fact, without magnesium, vitamin D can't even be activated. And that synergy is what we'll explore next. So we've talked about vitamin D as the switch that turns on muscle repair and magnesium as the fuel and relaxation agent that makes it possible. But here's the truth. These two nutrients aren't just teammates, they're codependent. Without magnesium, vitamin D cannot do its job. Here's what the research shows. When you take vitamin D, it doesn't immediately become active. It first has to be converted in the liver, then again in the kidneys into its biologically active form known as calcitriol. This two-step process requires enzymes, and those enzymes need magnesium to function. Without enough magnesium, vitamin D remains stuck in its inactive form, floating in the bloodstream, but unable to activate genes or regulate calcium. Think of it like this. Vitamin D is the key to starting your car, but magnesium is the ignition. If you don't have both, the engine never turns over. This is why many people take vitamin D supplements but still see little change in their energy, sleep, or muscle recovery. It's not that vitamin D doesn't work, it's that it can't work without its partner. A 2018 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that magnesium intake significantly influenced vitamin D status. People who had higher magnesium intake were far more likely to maintain healthy vitamin D levels, even with the same amount of supplementation or sunlight exposure. The study concluded that magnesium acts as a critical cofactor for vitamin D metabolism. Now, let's apply this practically. If you're supplementing with vitamin D at night to support muscle recovery, but your magnesium is low, you're only running half the system, your body can't flip the full repair switch. On the other hand, when you pair the two, you create what scientists call a nutrient synergy. Each one enhances the other's effectiveness. Have you noticed how sometimes in life, the right partnership makes all the difference? One person has the vision, the other provides the grounding. Together, they can build something neither could alone. Vitamin D and magnesium are that kind of partnership for your muscles. Here's a simple tool to apply. When you take vitamin D at night, always ensure you're getting adequate magnesium, either through food or supplementation. Foods like pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, and avocados are rich in magnesium. But as we discussed earlier, most adults don't get enough from diet alone. That's where a high-quality magnesium supplement such as glycinate can make the difference. And the timing matters. When you take them together with your evening meal, vitamin D is better absorbed with fat, and magnesium begins calming your nervous system, preparing you for deeper sleep. That combination aligns beautifully with your circadian rhythm's repair cycle. If you're finding this information valuable, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Each week, we explore the neuroscience, physiology, and psychology behind tools that can transform your health. It's about more than supplements. It's about understanding how your body and brain truly work so you can live stronger and longer. The big takeaway here is this. Don't think of vitamin D and magnesium as two separate tools. Think of them as one integrated system. Alone, they're useful. Together, they're transformative. This is how you give your body the full set of instructions to not only stop muscle loss, but actively rebuild strength while you sleep. And there's another benefit that goes far beyond muscles. This synergy also impacts your brain and emotional health. Stronger muscles aren't just about physical strength. They're linked to sharper cognition, resilience against depression, and even longer lifespan. That's what we'll uncover next. Up to now, we've been talking about muscles as if they exist in isolation, fibers, proteins, mitochondria, and repair. But here's something many people overlook. Your muscles are not just mechanical engines. They are biochemical organs that talk directly to your brain, influence your emotions, and even shape the trajectory of your aging. Here's what the research shows. When muscles contract, they release signaling molecules called myokines. These are sometimes described as muscle messengers. They travel through the bloodstream and communicate with the brain, immune system, and even the gut. One of the most studied myokines, called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, plays a critical role in neuroplasticity. It helps your brain grow new connections, strengthens memory, and protects against cognitive decline. In other words, every time your muscles are strong and well-nourished, your brain benefits too. Now here's the catch. When muscles begin to weaken, especially with age, this chemical conversation between muscle and brain gets quieter. Low muscle mass has been directly linked with higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even dementia. A 2020 study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that older adults with greater muscle strength had significantly lower risk of developing depressive symptoms. Another body of research from Harvard points to muscle strength as a predictor of longer life expectancy, independent of cardiovascular health. So what's happening here? Why does the state of your muscles influence your mood and cognition so profoundly? The answer lies in energy and inflammation. Strong, healthy muscle fibers improve glucose metabolism, stabilize blood sugar, and reduce chronic inflammation, all of which protect the brain. Weak muscles, on the other hand, create a metabolic storm that raises inflammation and starves the brain of steady fuel. This is where vitamin D and magnesium re-enter the story. Vitamin D receptors are not just in muscle cells, they're in brain tissue too. Studies show that vitamin D deficiency is linked to higher rates of depression and cognitive decline. Magnesium, meanwhile, is sometimes referred to as nature's tranquilizer because it regulates NMDA receptors in the brain, preventing excitotoxicity, the overfiring of neurons that leads to anxiety and burnout. Together, these nutrients create a biochemical environment where your muscles and brain can both thrive. Let's make this practical. Have you ever noticed that when you're physically stronger, even simple daily challenges feel lighter emotionally? You handle stress better, your mood feels steadier, and your confidence rises. That's not just psychology, that's biology. Your muscles are sending out the chemical signals that reinforce resilience in your brain. A simple nightly protocol of vitamin D and magnesium doesn't just rebuild muscle overnight, it reinforces this muscle-brain loop. It ensures that as your body repairs, your brain is receiving the signals it needs for emotional balance and cognitive clarity. Now think about the broader implication. Muscle is often described as the organ of longevity, and it's true. Strong muscles lower fall risk, improve balance, and protect independence as you age. But the deeper truth is that muscle health is also mental health. The stronger your muscles, the more resilient your mind. Here's a tool you can start tonight after your evening dose of vitamin D and magnesium. Take 5 minutes for a light stretch or gentle breathing exercise. This not only activates your parasympathetic nervous system, but also primes your muscles to release calming signals into the brain. You'll sleep deeper and you'll strengthen the feedback loop between body and mind. So when we talk about rebuilding muscle overnight, we're not just talking about physical strength. We're talking about protecting memory, stabilizing mood, and extending vitality into the decades ahead. And in the final section, we'll bring all this together into a simple, science-backed nightly protocol so you know exactly what to do to harness these tools starting tonight. We've covered the science, the nutrients, and the connections between muscle, brain, and rhythm, but science is only powerful when it becomes a tool you can use. So let's turn this into a clear, actionable nightly protocol you can start today. Here's what the research shows. Your body is most primed for muscle repair during the first half of the night when slow-wave sleep dominates. This is when growth hormone surges, tissue repair accelerates, and memory consolidation happens in the brain. If you can align your nutrition and habits with this repair window, you magnify the results. So what does that look like? Step 1, nutrition timing. Take your vitamin D and magnesium in the evening, ideally with your last meal. Why the evening? Because fat in your dinner helps vitamin D absorb efficiently, and magnesium begins calming your nervous system just as you're winding down. Together, they prepare your body to enter repair mode seamlessly as you fall asleep. Step 2, digital sunset. About 60 minutes before bed, reduce artificial blue light. This means turning down overhead lighting and putting away devices. Light tells your brain it's still daytime, which suppresses melatonin, the hormone that cues your body to enter deep sleep. Think of melatonin as the conductor of the nighttime repair orchestra. Without it, the symphony doesn't play. Step 3, gentle transition. Pair your supplements with a relaxation ritual. This could be 5-10 minutes of stretching, deep breathing, or simply sitting quietly with a cup of caffeine-free tea. These small acts signal to your nervous system it's safe to shift into repair. Remember, magnesium supports parasympathetic activation, so these habits work in synergy with the nutrient itself. Step 4, consistency. The circadian system thrives on routine. Get to bed and waking up at consistent times helps regulate growth hormone release, insulin sensitivity, and muscle protein synthesis. If you've ever noticed how jet lag throws off your energy and recovery, you've felt the importance of circadian stability. Step 5, layer in movement. During the day, aim for at least 20-30 minutes of muscle-stimulating activity, whether that's resistance training, body weight exercises, or brisk walking with light weights. Why? Because muscle only repairs what's been challenged. Think of vitamin D and magnesium as the builders, but exercise provides the blueprint. Without the blueprint, the builders have nothing to construct. Step 6, track and adjust. Pay attention to your energy, sleep quality, and recovery. Are you waking up less sore? Do you feel steadier emotionally? These are signs the protocol is working. If not, consider testing your vitamin D and magnesium levels. Personalized adjustments can make a big difference. Now, imagine this. You go to bed not just hoping you'll recover, but knowing you've given your body the precise tools it needs. You wake up with less stiffness, more energy, and a clear mind. Over weeks, this compounds stronger muscles, sharper focus, and greater resilience to stress. That's not a supplement gimmick. That's aligning your biology with how it was designed to function. And here's the empowering truth. This isn't about perfection. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Add vitamin D and magnesium at dinner, dim your lights an hour before bed, and give yourself permission to rest. These are not just health hacks. They are long-term investments in the muscle, brain, and emotional strength you'll need for the years ahead. So the protocol is simple, but the impact is profound. Nutrition, rhythm, and habit aligned with science. That's how you rebuild muscle overnight and protect your brain for tomorrow. In the conclusion, we'll recap everything we've covered and leave you with one simple challenge you can take on tonight to put this into practice. We've covered a lot tonight, so let's bring it all back into focus. Muscle is not just about strength. It's your reservoir of energy, your protector against disease, and your silent ally for brain and emotional health. Losing it accelerates aging, weakens resilience, and narrows your independence. But rebuilding it isn't just about protein powders or omega-3 capsules. It's about giving your body the right signals at the right time with the right support. Here's what the research shows. Vitamin D acts as the switch that activates your muscle repair genes. Magnesium provides the energy and calm required for that repair, and your circadian rhythm sets the stage where all of this takes place. Together, they create a synergy that flips your body into an overnight renewal mode, and the benefits ripple out far beyond muscle. Stronger muscles mean sharper memory, steadier mood, and even longer life. So what does this mean for you? It means that every night you have an opportunity by simply pairing vitamin D and magnesium with your evening meal, respecting your body's circadian rhythm, and maintaining consistent nightly habits. You can transform your sleep into a time of active repair. You can wake up stronger, clearer, and more resilient than you were the night before. And here's my challenge to you. Start tonight. Add these 2 vitamins with your dinner. Dim your lights an hour before bed. Give your muscles and your brain the environment they need to rebuild. Then notice how you feel tomorrow morning. That one small act can become the foundation for a habit that reshapes your energy and strength for years to come. If you found value in this message, I invite you to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to join our community. Together, we explore the science and psychology that help us live not just longer, but stronger, more vibrant lives. Remember, the way you end your day determines the strength of your tomorrow. So fuel your body wisely, honor your rhythm, and let your nights become the time when your best self is rebuilt.